Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Bow Hunting Soul. Okay, at the range this morning, and I am shooting broadheads. Okay, I'm testing each individual broadhead, each individual arrow from my Java Man elk cart. I've talked about the arrow setup that I've kind of ended up with this bow, and it's a wood, right? It's a woody. These are Sitka spruce, although I have shot the I'm sorry. These are Doug fir. Although I have shot the Sitka spruce shafts as well. Not a whole lot of difference in them as far as I can tell. You know, some of them are a little lighter, some of them are a little heavier, and I'm getting weight variations between batch to batch. Even if Doug fir to Doug fir, Sitka spruce to Sitka spruce. But either way, I'm liking those two shafts. These ones right here are actually Doug fir. They are 55-60. And they are 30 and a half, or just over 30 inch, I'm sorry, just over 30 inch from the back of the point to the knock groove in there. Okay, so that's the shaft, and I'm shooting a 125 grain Zwickey Eskimo. They actually come in at like 135. But by the time I file off a little Tonto tip in here and like really sharpen these suckers up, these are straight out of the box, by the way. They're going to lose a little bit, right? They're not going to be quite 125, but they might end up at like 130 or something like that, which is fine by me. I settled on these just because it's kind of like an old school look, right? No, I don't have super bright fletchings, but I do have the back half of this painted. Again, if you look at this from 20 paces away, it looks pretty nice. If you get kind of close, you can see how I spun this. This is a black Sharpie mark right here, right, that I kind of spun on my homemade home spinner that I've talked about. It's not really a spinner, but these come in about 555 grains, actually, somewhere around there. 553, 555. Pretty good looking arrow, I think. So but the important thing though is what I found with wood arrows is each of these things has even though they're all the same spine, and I don't have a spine tester. That's the other thing. I don't have a spine tester. So I'm going off of what, Sherwood Shafts, sends. And even though they're all the same spine, I'm finding there's some variation between shaft to shaft, okay, as far as how the thing flies. I do the orientation. Maybe I'll do like an arrow building video, but I do, do the orientation, right? So I've got the flames, I guess is what they call it, right? I don't even know if I've got them going in the right direction. Coming back this way versus that way. But either way, I've got it so that the flame part of it is, at the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock positions when I'm shooting it, so that when the knock, I don't want to cut anything here. So when the knock is on the string like so, the grains, I don't know if you can see that there, the grains are like that. They're horizontal. Okay, so they're perpendicular to the string, and I guess that that gives the most amount of stiffness, which is probably going to give you the most consistency in the stiffness. But the individual grain makeup, right, of each individual shaft can be a little different. I mean, it's wood, it's a natural product, it's going to behave differently. So anyway, the long story short, point of this is I want to shoot every single one of these. Every single one of these has a new broadhead on it, brand new, again, Zwickey Eskimo. And I want to shoot every single one of these into my broadhead target out here and make sure that each one of them individually flies the way they're supposed to fly. And if it does, then they're going to get sharpened up. They're going to get a Tonto tip put on there. They're going to get sharpened up. They're going to get put in the quiver, and I'm not going to touch them until hunting season. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to shoot each individual shaft. I'm going to take some random shots. I'm not going to stop in between each one of them to explain. I'm going to go through all 5 of my arrows over here. Okay, going to go through all 5 of them. I do have other ones that are made up that are the exact same setup, actually, and I've got them on my Black Hunter. Actually, these take the exact same arrow, same shaft, exact same tip weight, broadhead, all that stuff. These 2 bows. On that bow, I ended up using my older Zwickey Eskimo, so they've been sharpened down a whole lot more. Not as new, so I decided to start just brand spanking new with all these. So I've got, at least I head into the woods looking good, because that counts, right? Okay, so I'm gonna set you up here, and then we'll take some shots. I'll probably be aiming at the O on here on the block target, right? Because it's dead center. And we'll take some shots probably from 12 to 15 yards back, and we'll see how each one of these individually flies. I'm gonna do these one at a time. I should have numbered these shafts. I didn't number them, but I'm just gonna go in order. And then anything that doesn't fly right, I'm gonna pull off. Anything that is good to go is gonna go right back in its slot, and we'll move on to the next one down the row. So, all right, sit tight. All right, here we go. I don't know if you can see, it's a turkey right there. I don't know if you can see that out there, right by the edge. And she's got one for sure, two poults. No, one poult, two poults. I don't know if you can see that. That's down there somewhere. Anyway, it's good to see. This area is loaded with turkeys, this particular range. All right, keep shooting. That seems to be flying quite nice. So I'm gonna move on to the next arrow. Okay, arrow number 2. Again, they're hitting a couple inches high, which is fine. I haven't been shooting this bow a whole lot lately. I've been concentrating on my ASLs. But I'm more concerned about arrow flight. Sorry about all this. It's all like, this is like half sweat and half like, what do you call that? Bug spray, right? I'm like soaked in it. It's gonna be 88 degrees today. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning right now. It's the only time I can get in here and not get swarmed and just die of heat. So anyway, I'm looking at arrow flight rather than exact impact. I know this is gonna impact just a little bit high. I gotta compensate for it a little bit. Again, haven't shot this in a while, but each individual one I'm seeing, the way I'm shooting, trying to be as consistent as possible and seeing arrow flight more than anything. So, all right, number 2, looking good. Okay, arrow number 3. And by the way, in between takes here, I'm shooting more of these. Okay, I'm not gonna sit there and shoot like 5-10 shots at each one. I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna do 1 or 2 shots on camera just so you get the idea of what we're trying to do here. So no, I'm not just getting like, oh, it's good off of 1 shot. All right, here we go. Arrow number 3. That one flew a little to the left. I think I short stroked it. I'm gonna try that one again. Here we go. Oh yeah. Okay, I did that one nice, that time. That flies nice. So far, we're 3 for 3, looking good. Okay, arrow number 4. And just FYI, by the way, with any bow that I've ever shot, as long as I don't have some variance in the shaft, right, which you can kind of tune out with knock tuning, right? And knock tuning, by the way, is harder to do with glue-ons, right? I mean, it's just you can do it. It's just you can't do it on the spot, right? You have to kind of break the glue, heat it up, you know, rotate it 120 degrees, put it back on, right? Just so it matches the flight of all the other ones. It's so much easier to do with carbons. But if you have all the shafts consistent, there's never been a broadhead that one broadhead flies completely wonky compared to another one of the same weight. In other words, if I have a 125 of this and a 125 3-blade of something, they're gonna fly, and you know, they're gonna fly the same. Not necessarily the exact same as a field point, they never will. But if it's tuned, it's tuned. If I have a 200 grain tip or 200 grain head, I don't know whether it's let's get close. Let's do the swamp sharks. They're like 180 something. They're listed as 175, but they come in at like 180 something or 183 or whatever. I can put that head on, and I can put another 175 grainer on, and they'll fly just the exact same. Anyway, the point is, if your shaft is tuned, I personally have never had an issue with one broadhead planing and doing something totally weird compared to another one of the same weight. So super important. The shaft, the tune is more important than what you put on the tip. Now, I've never shot anything that's like giganto wide. No, that's not true. I've got those Ace Super Expresses, and they're like 1.7/16" or something like that, or 1.9/16. I can't remember. They're big, right? They're wide. But I've had those on arrows that weren't perfectly tuned, but regardless, I didn't see any planing from them. It was just the tune was off. So, all right, here we go. This is arrow number 4. Looks good to me. I'm gonna take one more hit, just a touch to the right. But again, that's just me. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna go grab that. We'll take another shot. Woo! That's nice. It flies nice. Anything that's off a little bit of aim, again, that's me. It's hitting in that blue tape. I don't know if you can see like right above the O on that thing. Where am I pointing? Right there. It's hitting like just right above the O on that target. There's like a little blue cross on there. Again, I'm hitting within, I don't know, this far of where I'm aiming. I wish I could be more accurate. I'm just not that good a shot, but that's more than good enough for me. But again, what I'm trying to see is arrow flight. All right, so that was arrow number 4. We're gonna do number 5. Okay, arrow number 5, last one. Here, don't they look pretty though? Doesn't that look, here, I'm gonna stab myself. Doesn't that look pretty on there? I know you're supposed to have high visibility feathers and all that stuff. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I did the compromise with the with the yellow knock, and you know, if it's going sideways at all, you know, I can see the white from the, it's not really cresting, I guess, but the rear dip. It's not even a dip. I don't dip it. I just paint it by hand. But yeah, that's pretty. I think it kind of, it goes with the look of the bow, right? I mean, I think that's a pretty sweet look. So later. Okay, this is arrow number 5. All right. Come on. Right, that flew really nice. And I even plucked that one, actually. We'll take one more shot with that one. That did hit. You know, I'm starting to aim a little bit lower. Again, this is like the first like 10-15 shots out of this bow. I'm having to compensate a little bit. Basically, I'm compensating the height of my rest up here, or the side plate up here. Not plate, but whatever. You know what I mean? Instead of well, either way, I got to do a 6 o'clock hold, but it's approximately, you know, at this distance, the top of this has to be at or below where I want to hit. Okay. The more I shoot with this, the more I shoot with this exact setup, that's going to get better. It's going to get more instinctive, it's going to be more natural. But for now, I'm just having some kind of visual checks, like, yep, it's straight, yep, it's down, yeah, it's okay, good, let it go, send it, kind of thing. So I'm going to do one more with this arrow 5, and we're going to call it. All right, so here's our second shot with arrow number 5. All right, so here's our second shot with arrow number 5. Again, it hit a couple inches high, but it's hitting exactly on that little plus sign thing over there. We'll do one more just for shits and giggles. Okay, so that's super nice. I'm gonna take you up closer just so you can see. I don't know how well you can see on that camera when I was shooting. So right there. Whoop. Hey, there we go. Right, so I'm aiming for here, but I have to aim kind of low, right? This close. It's like 12 yards. I've been hitting kind of up here. But the point is, I'm actually looking at arrow flight. Again, like I said, I'm repeating myself. I'm looking at arrow flight, and I'm looking for consistency. So consistency, after that, it's gonna come down to just being a little better aimer, I suppose, with this thing. So anyway, I don't want to beat that point up too much. It's pretty obvious. So anyway, shoot your broadheads, right? The shaft. And again, with wood shafts, with wood arrows, you've got you know, all this grain. Look at all that stuff going on in there. Okay, there's a lot going on in there, and it bends differently in, you know, this plane versus this plane. Okay, I mean, it's all different. So anyway, that's kind of the thing with wood arrows. Make sure they're straight, or as straight as you can get them. And again, just because the grain goes the same direction and it says the same spine, unless you have a spine tester and you can test it exactly in the deflection plane that it's going to deflect in, it's going to react differently. It might react differently, so just go shoot. Okay, my glasses are fogging up. It's going to be 88 degrees today, and it's already humid as hell. I'm so over summer. Okay, anyway, if you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. We're heading into one more month and a half of this disgustingness that they call summer, and then we're going to be into the good months where we can actually get out and hunt. So all right, thank you guys for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. It's much appreciated. I never put up the cards up here or anything like that. Maybe I will earlier in this video or something like that. I'll say subscribe, but unless YouTube sees that people are interacting, it just kind of leaves you dead in the water. So I really appreciate all the comments and the subs. Go shoot your bow. All right, go shoot your broadheads. Thanks, guys.